Hello, Bovington. Are we well? What a glorious day we had today. Hello. Well, we are the Garrison Artillery Volunteers. I know most of you have come here today to see some tank action, but you're not going to get it in the next 10 minutes. We're going to be putting up a 6-pound anti-tank artillery piece. They will be mocked up, as you can see, as paratroopers. They're getting the gun into action. Despite rumour to the contrary, most tanks were destroyed during the Second World War by anti-tank artillery, not tank-on-tank action. The tanks were not designed really to be fighting each other. We had anti-tank artillery. Now, your previous speaker spoke about the 2-pounder. This was the early war artillery piece used by both the Royal Artillery and in the infantry divisions. And in 1940, after the retreat from Dunkirk, all production, despite the fact the 6-pounder was already on the boards, ready to be produced, we would have had to have retooled the entirety of our armaments industry, and we were so short of anti-tank guns, it was decided it would be way, way better to have lots of antiquated 2-pounders than it would be to have a whole load of 6-pounders still in the factories. So, you know, the dark days of the 1940-41. But then, as things progressed, we ended up bringing the 6-pounder into action. 57 millimetres, if you want to think about it in millimetres, a lot of people do. But the gun was quite special. It was low, very high velocity, and had no controlling wheels to turn in left and right. It was moved entirely by the gunners on the gun, putting their shoulder either side to the barrel, and it could move at 45 degrees either direction to get out there. Magnificent weapon, relatively light, very, very potent. Production of these guns, some 17,000 made in 42. We had a further 18,000 in 1943. But then production went off in 1944 when this gun itself, that had replaced the 2-pounder, then was replaced in the Royal Artillery by the 17-pounder, and all the 2-pounders that were left went to the infantry divisions. As you know, hopefully, as you know, each infantry battalion had 4 infantry companies and a weapons company, an S company, which had 6 anti-tank, 6-pounder anti-tank weapons. So, I also believe my previous speaker told you that the gun was quite loud. It is quite loud, and you're going to get a few bangs coming out of it in a moment. So just to let you know how loud this gun can be, we'll have 1 round of gunfire, which will now be loaded and fired. How about that? Little round of applause for our guns there. So that's just the warm-up. That's just to get you ready for what's to come. Now then, this gun was upgraded during the war. There were only 6 models that 5 models that were made. 2 of those went into the tanks. It was one of the most prolific guns that were mounted in British tanks, right up until 44. Churchill tanks still carried them in 45. But the gun could be upgraded. So when it first came out, as this one is over there, it could penetrate at 1,000 yards, 74 millimeters of armour. That was pretty much better than anything the Germans had got in 1942. And when it saw its first combat action, for real, at the Battle of Gusala, it decimated both the Italians and the German armour. And then became a race. The Germans upgraded their armour, so we had to upgrade our gun. And we would then put into that an armoured-piercing cat shot. And we could then, at 1,000 yards, get 88 millimetres of armour taken out, penetrated. And to give you some notion, the Tiger tank, although it had 100 millimetres of armour at the front, only carried 80 millimetres of armour to the side. So a 6-pounder, if it got a side-on shot at 1,000 yards, could take out a Tiger. And indeed, it was 6-pounders that took out the first Tiger tanks in North Africa, and also the first Panther tank in Italy. But then the Germans got a bit sneaky and started to put more and more armour onto their tanks, and eventually the 6-pounder could still manage to penetrate 146 millimetres of armour when a discarded Sabbath round was loaded. So this gun, despite rumour to the contrary, was upgraded and was very, very effective in combat against German tanks. So, without any further ado, our crew, or detachments as we prefer to call them, will now engage in some rapid tank action, and we'll try and bat out 5 rounds for you. So please be prepared. Action forward. Thank you very much. Round of applause for the Garrison artillery volunteers. Let's hope you enjoy the rest of your day. No photography, sir. I've got an exclusive with Hello Magazine. Thank you all very much indeed for this. Thank you. Cheers. Take care.
John is here. Please. Dad, it's a break.
I like that here. They used to carry 2 bodies.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, get a call once. Yeah, yeah.
How good is it?
Yeah.